Good morning. When is it appropriate to draw a line in the sand? You know that whole thing about drawing a line in the sand, you know where that came from. It came from Colonel William Travis in the Alamo. And as you know the story, there was 189 soldiers facing thousands of Santa Anna's troops. They knew there was no way for them to overcome them, and they were going to be defeated the next day. And Colonel Travis took his sword, drew a line in the sand. And he said, we know this because one guy cowered it out and escaped, and he told the story years later. But he said, there's no way we're going to live, but we can choose how we die. How many are willing to die with me? Step over this line. And 189 of them, they even had somebody carry Bowie, or two people carried his stretcher across the line, David Bowie. And so all of them went over the line. Now, Jesus tells us this in verse 24 of Matthew 16. If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whosoever loses his life will save it, will find it. For what profit is there if a man gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Now, what does he tell us here? If we don't take up our cross, if we're not willing to die to self, it's interesting, the verse before is when Peter told him he wouldn't go to the cross, when Jesus said he was going to the cross. Jesus said to them, Peter, get thee behind me, Satan, for you're an offense to me. But listen to what he said next. For you are not mindful of the things of God, but for the things of men. What do men want? They want power. They want money. They want pleasure. They want prestige. They want convenience. They want all these things that we have down here. But how many people are willing to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm willing to die with you? If anyone wants to follow me, let him take up his cross. What is a cross? It is a means of execution. Are you willing to co-crucify yourself with me to all of your desires and follow me if it costs you even your life? How many of us have drawn a line in the sand and said, I've made that decision? You know, there's something about a Christian that's made that decision. It changes them. It changes their perspective. It changes everything about them. I think too often we're very, very, very short on drawing a line in the sand. We draw the lines, but they're lines of what God must do for us. No line about stepping over for him, like Travis said. Who will come and die with me? You know, that's Jesus' invitation. Paul said, I die daily. He crucified himself. He reckoned himself dead on a daily basis. He understood the power of co-crucifixion. Galatians 2:20, I'm crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth within me. And the life I now live, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. It is in that co-crucifixion event that we find power. The power of Christ to live the life of Christ. Without the crucifixion, without the death to self, the power doesn't come through. And we wonder why we confess the same sins over and over. Maybe we've never drawn a line in the sand and said, I'm willing, if it means death, I'm willing to give up everything, even my life. I'm certainly willing to give up this habit. I'm willing to give up this sin, and I'll find strength and power in going to the Word of God and being filled with the Spirit of God in that co-crucifixion event every day. And I'll think about drawing that line in the sand. My reputation is not important. What they say about me is not important. All that's important is that I please you. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. That's what we're looking for, right? God bless you. Have a great day.